then I need to unmute myself, unmute you, and then I need to transition, and then we're live. Thank you, Discord. And then I need to mute you, and then I need to mute that. Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, welcome everybody to this week's episode of Discord deciding not to work. So it was we were on a call literally 15 minutes before, and then we both went to go like do what we needed to do before the show, and then we go to call again and Discord decides, nah, I don't really feel like it. So that was fun. But welcome Arcane, welcome Monad, thank you both for stopping by, and welcome Holly in the chat as well. Thank you all both for stopping by. Holly, looking great today.
Thank you. I have my wait for it. Let's see if I can do it. My
the Muffin Man.
Scream. It's yes, it's Edward. It's that painting, the Scream, but with Cookie Monster and the Muffin Man.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man. The best part of the movie. Well, one of the best parts. Yes.
I should go watch that movie again. Honestly, it's been a very long time.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the other day too. Yeah.
What's your favorite animated movie?
That's actually a really
one in the top 7. Doesn't need to be number 1, just in the top 7.
Well, it's not animated, but it's adjacent. I'm like psychotically in love with the Muppets. Like, I love the
I
Muppets.
love that.
Yeah.
You know,
like, it's not cartoons, but it's, you know,
I'm actually tangentially. I'm actually partially. No, you either are you. I'm actually related to one of the person who voiced one of the Muppets.
Which one?
I will tell you later.
Off street. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're in the presence of royalty. Our family of royalty. I love the Muppets. Labyrinth is like one of the best movies ever. So if you're asking me, it would be Labyrinth and Muppets Take Manhattan. Okay. That would be my adjacent.
So when the Muppets come on for Summer Games Fest or Game Awards, which Summer Games
Fest,
and
everybody gets cranky about it, and I'm like, shut up! I love the Muppets.
That's what I was gonna say. That's amazing.
I love Muppets.
I would say one. It's in my top 10-ish, in that range, but one that I could do some obvious ones, like I love Shrek, I love Toy Story, I love The Incredibles, like, you know, those are some.
Yeah.
One that surprised me, well, shouldn't have surprised me, that I really like was, what was it, Outbound? It was the one where like the fairy tale creatures or like the D&D type creatures are living in modern times, where they have like cars and they become lazy, and it was the two brothers go on a quest to save the dad who using a magic spell, because it's only like the bottom half of his legs that are there.
Oh, is it fully animated, or is it one of
Onward.
those?
Thank you, Arcane. I was called Onward.
I don't think I know that one, actually.
Oh, I really liked Onward, but one that is a bit more hidden-ish, right? That's not like a Pixar movie or something like that, is actually 9. Tim Burton's 9.
Yes. I think I have seen that one.
Love that movie.
Yeah. I actually watched, like, WALL-E got me so emotional that I don't think I could ever watch WALL-E again, because it was so, like, I was instantly like, WALL-E, right, Eva, and like I was just like, I can't, right? Like it's so, he's so cute, and the emotion was so intense,
and
that
they
I was
say
just like,
2 words.
Yes!
I love it.
Yes,
love it.
Yes. I bet you do a solid Kermit the Frog, Arcane. Like I feel like your voice is built for that. There's a guy at work that I really, 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 really don't like. And he walks like Kermit the Frog. Like his legs are like bowed, and they like You know, like
just get in some Muppets music as he's walking by you.
Yeah,
As he's walking past.
I would love to. Sorry, wait, one more thing. Grey Bodad. I think we'll talk about that for just a couple minutes. I didn't want to leave you hanging.
Yeah, no, actually, I mean, listen, let's dive. I don't have too much to say. Battlefield 6, the beta is out. You can play yourself. You can go off and play it yourself if you want right now. All you need to do is watch a verified Twitch streamer that has their drops enabled for 30 minutes, but it's actually longer than 30 minutes, but for about 30 minutes. Just turn it on, leave it in the background, walk away, and then you'll get a code. You need to make sure that you have your Twitch account linked to your EA account, which you do through the, you just Google, go on Google and type in EA account and sign into it. And then you can link them up, and then you can get a code. And you get a code, and then you could be off playing the Battlefield 6 beta if you are interested.
Or you could just wait for the open beta, which starts on Saturday.
You could also wait. It just starts on Saturday. Yeah, you could just give it a little bit of time. You got 2 more days. But if you're really eager to hop in, like I was eager to hop into it, you can do so. And I will say, it is exactly what I expected. That's why I don't have too much to say about it. But it's Battlefield. And if you've been missing traditional Battlefield as it's meant to be, when you can have everybody storming up the streets yelling, "We're so back!" screaming as demolition is going off around you, Battlefield 6 is the game that you've been hoping that it would be. It's fun. It's unapologetically Battlefield. It does not push any envelopes. It does not innovate crazily from anything you would expect from a Battlefield game. It's just a Battlefield game. And that's about the best praise I think people can have after several years of not getting a good Battlefield game that have been really, really missing it. Now, I played the proper mode, which is Conquest and Breakthrough. You played the duty mode, which is... How did you explain it?
Duty or duty?
Both is appropriate, actually. That's a very good play on words right there. The duty mode, which is the... You called it, and you can share your thoughts about it. But
yeah!
The Temu Call of Duty.
Temu Call of Duty. Yep, that's what that. So I played. So this morning I had just a handful of minutes to hop in for a little bit, and there's four types open right now. 4 game types, and to be clear and to be fair, I have bought several Battlefields in the past, and I have never liked any of them.
Which one have you spent the most time with?
And I want to like them. That's the thing, right? It's like, I don't go into this with like a secret grudge, like I'm going to really hate this game and I know it. And, it's like, no, I really want to like it. 1, I played the most of 1 and I hated 1. I didn't even finish the campaign. And, a lot of times, like campaigns are, as long as there's a good campaign, I'm good, right?
The campaign in that was terrible, though. That wasn't even a campaign.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
Thank
Battlefield.
you.
Yeah, no.
Thank you. I thought I was crazy.
No, what they did for Battlefield 1 is they said, we need to have, because everyone complained that the last one had nothing. Zilch. So they were like, we need to do something. So they did this half-assed campaign that wasn't really a campaign. And it was cool conceptually. They're like, we're going to do these stories from World War II or World War I that like people might not know about. And they're kind of like based on a true story. So like conceptually, it's cool. But when some of and I can't remember any of them. They were very forgettable. But like one of them,
there were a lot of tank missions in that campaign, and I was just, meh.
But this one, Battlefield 6.
Yeah. So here's the other thing too, right? It's been several years. I was actually really excited for 2042, but I didn't. But I didn't pre-order it, and I saw the stuff, and I was like. Good thing I didn't pre-order it, right? I hear it's great now, but it's too late. Yeah. So to be fair, when I was playing Battlefield 1 and Hardline or whatever, right? Like I was not a big multiplayer person. I just didn't play much multiplayer, right? So they didn't. If you don't play a lot of multiplayer, I feel like all of these games don't hit right? Because they're hard. Like, you die a lot, you get frustrated, they're hard, there's people running
There's
past you.
kids
what am I
yelling
doing?
at you
Yeah.
that they did stuff to your mother.
Yeah.
Which you don't get
And
in
that's any
Battlefield,
game.
actually. You don't get that in Battlefield.
Well, yeah, it's because, well. So.
Because Nicki Minaj isn't running around next to Terminator and Beavis and Butthead.
True. True.
All right, I'm done cutting you off. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. So to be fair, like, now that I am way more in the multiplayer space, I play a lot of multiplayer, play a lot of Call of Duty. And I have my problems with Call of Duty. I am excited for this Battlefield because I want it to be good, but it also has to be a game type that I like, right? And here's where the dichotomy comes, because I only played 2 or 3 matches of domination, and I loaded in. There's 4 types, 3 large maps style games, and then the small map. And I was like, small map, I like small maps. So I go in. You hate small maps, I know. And it was just like domination in Call of Duty, but the Temu version, because it's very slow, it's weird. Like, I don't know. And
yeah,
then,
it's
like,
it's a lot weirder when people are running around in actual military uniforms. That's very weird, actually.
That is not the problem, man. You know it. It's the movement, and I'm not even talking about Omni movement. Forget Omni movement, all that stuff, right? But, like, I'd be running, and I'd want to, like, slide, which is supposed to be in this game. But you'd hit the button to slide, and you just crouch. And I'm like, no. You're right. And then, like, I don't know. And to be fair, I only play 2 or 3. It's a different game. I need to play it a little bit to adjust to it. Totally get it. So I don't know. We'll see. I need to play the big map games because in my mind, I just don't get it. I don't understand why people like those, but I never played with anybody else. You know what I mean? So I'm here to give it a fair shot.
Yeah, welcome, Fark. Thank you for stopping by. Hello, you lovely lot. Welcome. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you being here. And Jeremy says some people we know like Black Ops. Some people. I don't know who, but some people. There's...
Who loves the precious?
The mode that I spent all my time in playing the beta, and I had like a good couple hours in it, maybe like 3 hours that I was playing today, is called Breakthrough. And I really like Breakthrough. It's sort of like Rush, but it's capture the point, but you need to secure both points at the same time, and then you push to the next, like, stage, right? So you're moving linearly down a map in either the attacking or the defending, and the attackers need to capture both the flags, and if they capture those, they get to move to the next sector, and then they're progressing through each sector. So the beautiful or the fun part about it is, yes, it's a big map, and the games can go on for quite a while, depending on how much contesting the point is, but it's still limited to, like, this is the section of the big map that you're in, right?
Okay.
So therefore it's not actually like Conquest. I've never liked which is the Battlefield mode when you have planes and tanks and cars and jeeps and all that's Conquest, and then the whole map is open.
Is that like the Ground War? Is that like
Yes.
what Call of Duty's Ground War was?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't like Ground War.
Yeah, and you have all that stuff going on, and it's cool. It is cool to see the scale because you have a lot of players in the match. Like, people are running around and they're capturing.
And is that the
points.
one where there's the points and you have to respawn in on them or a team member, and you have to, like, then advance back to where you were? That one annoys me.
Yeah, so you can always spawn on your team. So you always have, like, your squad, and you could spawn on your squad mates, assuming they're not in combat, right? But Conquest, you'll have, like, on the entirety of the map. So it'll be the same exact map, right? You're playing Breakthrough, and you go between each of those sectors. But Conquest, all of the sectors are unlocked, and then you're just capturing different points within each of those simultaneously. And you could spawn if you have one captured, you could spawn on them, and then it's just sort of like a, you know, you see the flow of the battle as you start losing points and gaining points, and it just goes on until one team runs out of lives. It's never been that fun for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's Conquest. Okay.
And Arcane says it best. Rush is the best game. Did you play Rush when you played Battlefield 1?
I don't remember. It was
Okay,
years
so
ago.
Rush is a lot of fun. It's basically search and destroy, but there's 2 points, and there's respawns, and you have
Okay, there's respawns. Okay.
There's respawns.
I don't love search and destroy.
It's the closest thing I could attribute it to. So basically, one team is trying to plant a bomb, the other team is trying to protect where that site is. It's always in the same spot, and there's 2 of them at a time. So the teams sort of split. They go for point A or point B. Sometimes there might actually be 3. And they try to set those off. Once they clear all 3, they move on to the next sector. And then they gotta clear those bombs. And you can run in, you try to defuse them. And it's this constant tug of war of who sort of has area control and superiority to try to... There you go, Arcane said it perfectly. It's search and destroy, but good.
That's not what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. So anyway, I absolutely have been enjoying my time with Battlefield, but again, it's just the thing, and I talked about this on the Renegade Realm podcast, so I won't dwell too long on it, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, just very briefly, because there's definitely a lot I want to talk about today.
Yeah.
But I mentioned this on the Renegade Realm podcast, but my concern with it is that this game isn't really doing anything innovative. Like, it's a great Battlefield game, right? Fantastic Battlefield game. It's not evolving the formula at all. It's not... Visually, Battlefield games have looked visually great for a while. Music's fine in the game, right? So... But I'm assuming that we're going to see the reviews come out and they're going to be like 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, right? All these high scores for the... Is that warranted? That's the thing that sort of annoys me, because it's like, hey, it's a great game, but it's really not doing anything, so it should, to me, be like a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 7.
Well... It depends on how they review it, right? Because with Call of Duty, they review the campaign as one thing, and then they review the multiplayer together, and then they kind of come to like an overall score in a separate thing, right? So they all 3 get reviews. So to that point, there's a campaign in this one, right?
Yes, of confrontational length. I think they said it's like 4 to 5 hours or something, so I believe.
Well... And that even, like, makes me question, like, what have you been doing for the last, like, 4 years, right? Because you couldn't even get a bigger, like, you couldn't get, like, a fully fleshed out campaign that's more than 4 hours long in this much time, especially to the point where you're saying where the multiplayer is basically just going back and pulling one up and updating it in a new engine and, like, there you go.
But that's exactly my point, right? How do you rate that an 8? How do you rate that a 9? That's my take on it.
You don't. Well, and I feel like it's a little early to rate it like that anyway, because to your point, I do think they've got like a push and pull here, because on one hand, you're absolutely right. And I do think reviewers will say that. But on the other hand, 2042 was such a disaster when it came out that I feel like it's going to help bump it back up a couple points, because they're going to be like, they really went back and they fixed everything. They brought the old Battlefield back. We're way, like it's way better. But in reality, 2042 had such a good idea, and their trailer was so like phenomenal, that if only they'd been able to pull off the logistics of it, then like that's what I think that's what people actually want, right? Like the innovation of 2042, but on the skin of a
the game's not crap.
Yeah, exactly.
But the game doesn't suck.
And I always feel like this argument about, is it Battlefield or is it Call of Duty? And I'm like, it doesn't really work like that, honestly, because like I want to play both, but the gameplay of Call of Duty is just much more my speed. And you don't get that in Battlefield And that's a good thing, right? Because it's a different space for different people, and some people like both, and that's totally okay. I don't really feel like they compete with each other as much as everybody tries to push that they do.
Yeah,
I think Call of Duty has lost its way, and that's a problem, but that's a different conversation entirely than, you know, what market share you're really sharing or not sharing.
Right.
But as far as this Battlefield, I feel like games like this in the ADHD society that we currently have fall off pretty quickly because this is a little bit older. And I feel like unless they're doing bigger, bolder things with each season, that it's gonna fall off a little quicker than it probably should or deserves to, right?
Right.
So I hope they have really, really good roadmaps for beyond just launch.
I'd like to think so. They have, you know what, they have the utmost confidence. I'm sure some of you guys out there have seen it. Before we move on to our next subject, the wait list to get into the lobbies, it goes by quick, but there's like thousands, tens of thousands of people that are waiting to get into the servers, that are waiting to play. It's one of the most watched games on Twitch, I think I saw. One of the most played games on Steam that I saw. It's they know what they have, and that is only going to positively amplify the energy of the people working on the game, which is a factor that I don't think we talk enough about, is like how the morale at the studio. We talked about it more recently with all the layouts going on. We talk about it, but in a positive way, we talk about it less. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. One more thing about it too is that I think the reason that you're seeing the hype around Battlefield the way that you do is not necessarily because I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, the gameplay trailer is amazing, or this trailer is amazing. Like, I don't really think it's actually that. I think it's more that Call of Duty has become what it is, and everybody's really upset about it. So now there's actually a legitimate gap for a milsim, right? And Battlefield has not had a good launch in like 8 years, right? And so I think they're just coming in a time where there's a void, and coming back with an old formula that looks milsim, right? And I think they're just poised at the right time. Plus, absence makes the heart grow fonder. What happened to Call of Duty skipping a year, right? Just 1 year.
Right.
Like, they haven't done that, and I don't know that that's on the horizon. And honestly, it wouldn't hurt them to take a year off, get back on track, just let the 2 years go by with updated seasons and all the stuff that they're doing, and come back 2 years later. And I bet you would see a huge resurgence, just like you are with Battlefield.
100%. And there's a whole conversation to be had with, you think that this is going to influence the direction that well, actually, just a quick yes or no. Do you think? You know, no? Okay. There we go. That answers that question.
Unfortunately, no, I don't think so.
No, Xbox is not going to listen, because Xbox has no idea what's going on in their own studios at the moment, as we have another game that's been canceled with Contraband. Now, Contraband, actually, out of all of the games that have gotten canceled, there were two that I was the most anticipating, and it was Contraband, and I was excited to see what Rare was working on with Everwild. But both of those projects are now gone. I don't think much needs to be said. I don't think this is surprising. I just want to say, welcome RSJ. You say, I'm more of a COD player than a Battlefield. Yeah, and that's exactly to your point. Like, people can be either or. Fuzzy Tomato! Reviews don't matter for multiplayer games anyways.
True.
To an extent.
Well, yeah. They matter much more for story-driven experiences.
Well. Zach T, welcome. My two favorite people, always so on point. You're on point because you're here, watching, enjoying, hanging. It's the most on point you could be. Thank you for stopping by. Xbox has no idea what was going on. Contraband. What was Contraband? It was a thief let's get the official.
It was multiplayer only.
Yes.
It was it an MMO?
A co-op No, it was a co-op heist game set in the fictional 1970s locale described as a smuggler's paradise. Developed by Avalanche, it has been paused their active development. So it's like the smuggling contraband makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk so much about the game's cancellation because it's. I don't think many people are surprised. It was the same situation with Everwild. They were quiet for years. Nothing happened. You look at that and you go, either you got a game or you don't. And then this seems like they didn't have a game. And so what I will say is it reinforces that there's a lot that's shifting as far as how publishers and specifically like Xbox and PlayStation are leaning into the next generation and where their strategies are going to go. So the two that I've been seeing is really Xbox is doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on strong IPs. Strong, it's going to be licensed game. It's going to be the ones that they have faith in, that have proven track records of success, while cutting back on the things that they say, this is a risk. We don't want to do this. We might lose money here. PlayStation strategy, which we could dive into that in a bit because there's some news around PlayStation. But Xbox, yes. I don't like the direction that Xbox is going in. The fact that they seem more scared to try innovative titles.
I don't think that's true, though. I don't think that's true. Because Perfect Dark was canceled, and that's not new. That was a remake of an old game. And
how much of an audience was there for Perfect Dark?
I think there was a pretty decent audience because when that was announced that it was canceled, a lot of people were actually like, are you kidding? Like, I really wanted to play that. Now, there wasn't a massive OG Perfect Dark audience that is still hanging around waiting. But I think it had enough charisma, and I think the people that had kind of been those OG people waiting for another Joanna Dark game had hyped how good those old ones were. Plus, like, that trailer was fire. Like, it was good, right?
It was a good vertical slice.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times that's all we see, right? So people get hyped for what they see. That's what you're promised in a vertical slice, right? So I think there were way more people that were excited about that game than Everwild, right?
Well, so the reason why I phrase it the way I did is because I think of, and maybe Arcane will actually attest to this, I think of like Dishonored, right? Dishonored was sort of a spiritual successor in ways to Thief. And I see Perfect Dark and like the old one versus a new one as similar to like the same levels of just general sized fan base. It seems comparable to me. Yeah. Just arbitrarily, right? I don't have facts or data, but to Thief, to Dishonored, and Dishonored obviously is maybe getting a Dishonored 3 at some point. It's on the FTC documents.
I think it is. it is. Yeah.
It's on the FTC documents, so that leads me to believe that there's hope. But my point being that there was an outcry when Arcane wasn't working on Dishonored 3, but they decided to move to Blade because licensed IP, right? Safer. Money.
Yeah. Well, okay. Arcane, first of all, I think you're wrong because you're saying it's never been a big seller. However, like, Pentiment wasn't a big seller, and they fully greenlit that with no problem. South of Midnight was not a big seller, and they knew it wouldn't be, and they had no problem sending that game out. There are plenty. That was the project name. Keeper from Double Fine, most unfortunately, probably will not be a massive seller, but they will push that out, right? They have this push-pull between all different sizes of games, and I think that, to their credit, they do allow for these experiences that are very unique, and when you say unique, you usually mean unique market share too, right? They do have place for those. I don't think if we look at Sony and we look at Xbox's strategy, and it's not fair to just keep it to the two of them, right? Because there's plenty of other publishers, right, that do, like Ubisoft, right? But to just take those two and compare them directly, it's night and day. Microsoft has been very good despite layoffs and cancellations, all stuff. They're very good about diversifying their portfolio. They always have been. Sony was all sad dad simulators, and then shoot, there's all these.
We're running out of dads
left on the table. Wait, we gotta pivot to live service and gas. It's everything, I promise.
Happy moms, do so happy great. Moms.
Yes, and so they just didn't have a good balance, and I think they've learned a really big lesson from that, financially and otherwise, and I think they'll be much better balanced from here on out. So I disagree with the fact that...
So here's and we could be in total disagreement on it. Here's what I'm also seeing too, right? When I talk about like the Xbox seems to be self-isolating. Pentiment, right? You meant, what were the games you mentioned? Pentiment, you mentioned mentioned Keepers and
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight. Mm-hmm. Much smaller budgets than what I assume a Dishonored would take to maybe South of Midnight's comparable, but think so. A Pentiment wasn't Pentiment made by like 12 people at Obsidian?
Yeah, but how many people do you think it really takes to make a Dishonored 3?
I would say at least 75. Those are big games with very complex level design
but they're already but the engine and the systems and the core functionality, the assets, 80% already there, right?
At this stage to make a Dishonored 3, no, because enough years have passed, and they also switched engines. So they don't have it's not like they could go back to Dishonored 1 and say, well, we have all the assets, right? Because they went from I think it was the Void engine to now they're using Unreal. But Arcane makes a good point too. Dishonored 2 costs more to make, and it didn't make as much money.
They're gonna make a Dishonored 3, okay?
So the other point I was going to make too, so those other games have much smaller budgets was point number 1, but point number 2 that I was going to make is, they are using Void Engine. That's good to hear, Arcane. Thank you for being here for this episode. The other point I was going to make too, though, is we see Blade's doing Dishonored. Arcane is doing Blade, Marvel property. Indiana Jones, it's rumored that they're going to be going into another Indiana Jones game right off the bat. That's
Machine Games, though.
Machine Games. What did I say?
Arcane.
Oh, Arcane is doing Blade. Machine Games is rumored to be going immediately into another Indiana Jones game instead of doing a Wolfenstein 3 next.
Which is infuriating.
But again, safe IP. We recently heard that Bethesda or Microsoft really has 3 different Fallout titles that are in the works. We know one is the early pre-production of Fallout 5. We know that there's probably a Fallout, or almost certainly a Fallout 3 remaster that was part of the FTC documents. There's likely another studio that Microsoft is having create a Fallout West Coast spinoff or side title, right? So tripling down on Fallout because they had the success of the TV show. They know that.
Yeah, aren't there like 3 of them? Yeah, isn't that what you were saying?
Three projects in the works, right?
Yeah.
So,
but
what reinforces the idea that let's not take any risks. Fallout's successful. Indiana Jones is successful. Blade is a Marvel game. That's too big to fail. Which is dangerous words. We saw Call of Duty recently said that, but I digress.
It's absolutely not true. So I'm glad you brought up Fallout because I have a bone to pick with you. Everybody this guy dropped a new video yesterday and he took a shank on Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. And I'm here to defend the honor of Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. And on top of that, you had the big balls to say that Far Harbor was what saved Fallout 4, when in fact, Far Harbor was the most boring part about Fallout 4 in totality. Far Harbor was boring AF.
I think you're in the minority with that one.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
If I'm being honest, who else thinks Far Harbor brought back the actual RPG to the Fallout RPG?
Far Harbor was boring.
It actually made the game like an RPG.
No, the Nuka world was way better.
Nuka world had no role playing. You could only be like,
so
I'm bad guy,
fun.
or I'm bad guy, or I'm slightly less bad guy.
Influence says Far Harbor was mid. See? Not great, not terrible. Exactly. I would agree with that.
So Far Harbor, what Far Harbor did though was, and this is what I highlighted in the video, which is that Fallout 4 comes out and they have very little roleplay RPG mechanics. They went for an action story-driven game, right? That's what they were.
It was good.
They went for an action story-driven game. And all the people who like Fallout, like traditional Fallout, are like, where's my RPG and my RPG game? And Bethesda's like, oh, sorry. We'll put it in Far Harbor. And Far Harbor...
Thank you, unexpected outcome. I am totally correct.
All right.
See? I am not the minority here.
You are the minority.
I'm not.
All of you are wrong. You have bad opinions. I hope your pillows are warm on both sides tonight if you think Far Harbor was the worst part of Fallout 4.
Oh.
I stand by that.
Do you know, to this day, Bethesda is so bad that I finished Far Harbor, and at the end there's this creature that you go and you do something with, right? Without spoiling anything. My freaking game, to this day, and it was a massive issue, is still bugged that it won't complete that quest to this day. They've never patched it so that it would just acknowledge that that was complete. I could never complete it. Stupid.
Just like your take tonight. Anyway.
No, that's not true. And also, I will just give an interesting tidbit in case you did not watch XNC on Monday night. Paris Lily was on with Colt, and they talked about Fallout 76, which is a superior game at this point. Yes. I understand at the beginning it was terrible. At this point it is fantastic. And they think that one of those components, or at least Paris thinks that one of those components for all of this Fallout material that's being pumped out, right now, is a huge, and they did say, Fallout 76 has said, the biggest expansion you've seen for our game is coming this year. He thinks that, just because they won't have a Fallout game at the time when the second season of the series comes out, he thinks that at the time of the show launch, there's going to be a massive piece added into 76 that takes you into the same world that the show is taking you into in season 2. And I don't really want to spoil it unless you don't care, but if you've watched the show, you know where it's headed. Yeah. And he thinks that they're going to add that in to Fallout 76, which would be really cool.
That would be, so completely agree. Fallout 76, I went in and played it recently. I think we actually talked about this one week where I had gone in, I did very little, I didn't get that far, but I was having fun with it because it felt like more of a traditional Fallout game is really
fun.
Why. And it still baffles me that they thought people wanted to do PvP. That's where I was going with that comment in that video. But that they were like, oh, everyone's gonna love PvP. No, we wanted a co-op Fallout game, Bethesda. Like, just listen to us. we know what's best for you, Bethesda. We know what's best. But I was very happy to see with Fallout 76 that it currently plays a lot smoother. So I remember, and this is what I think I had brought up when we talked about it, is when I first played it, which was around the time the game came out. It just, like, you shot something and it felt delayed. It felt like all the worst parts of an online game in terms of how the enemies respond when you shoot them, how the health reacts when you hit.
It was terrible.
It was laggy. It was slow. It was clunky.
No NPCs to talk to. Yeah, it was bad.
And the best improvement for me, aside from the obvious with adding the NPCs and actual story to it, right, is the fact that the game actually feels better to play. Just like, again, something as simple as the health bars reacting when you shoot the enemy, or the enemies, like, you shoot them and they don't take 3/4 of a second to go when you hit them, right? It's like those types of things make a very big difference. And so they've done a very good job with that game. They're 100%. They're gonna align whatever they have coming up with the TV show. They know they missed out with season 1. They know they missed out because they saw the spike in players, and they're going to see the same thing again when season 2 comes out. It's going to happen, if not bigger this time, like a larger jump this time. But again, all this points to the idea of kind of the main point of this topic, which is to say it's safe. It's a safe IP to invest in. They know it'll make money.
Yep. Yeah.
And so where does that leave the risky projects? Where does that leave? I mean, Grounded 2 happened, but we wouldn't have gotten Grounded. I don't think we would see a Grounded in this age of Xbox. I don't know if we'd get that type of game.
I just don't agree.
Where does it leave the Dishonored? Like, I don't think we got Dishonored. Hi-Fi Rush, was phenomenal. They said nope, not. And even though the studio wanted to do a Hi-Fi Rush 2,
you know exactly though.
I know
why
Tango.
was
I know
closed.
Tango's situation. Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the IP. I just don't think so. Like, they're all in on Clockwork Revolution. That's brand new IP. What other games they have? I mean, they're allowing Tim Schafer with Double Fine to do a brand new game instead of being like, no, I think you need to go and revive Grim Fandango, or I really want you to do a Banjo even though you don't want to do a Banjo and I need you to do that for me. Or I mean, the things that they've closed have been because they've been in development. This is a good segue, because they've been in development for like 10 years and they got nothing to show for it. Like, and the Perfect Dark was actually more than just a vertical slice. They did have some actual gameplay in there. It finally flushed out through all of the back and forth, but still, the Initiative was a brand new studio they tried to build, and they had all kinds of problems with people leaving, coming. So like, that game never had a chance because they couldn't get their team to work together successfully. And then, I mean, Everwild, that's just a whole other bag of potatoes, because, I mean, Rare has been around they just had their 40th anniversary. They should know how to build a game and build it successfully and move through it pretty quickly, right? But that was in development for 10 years. They scrapped it halfway into, like, 4 or 5 years in. So, like, that's on them, right? Like, if you've been working for 4 or 5 years and then you scratch it and go back to ground zero, like, that's a huge problem. And that's not Xbox's fault. That's Xbox finally getting to a point where they're like, this game, you've spent this many millions of dollars to get it to this point. You're telling me you need another $200 million to get it to the finish line, and another, 3 years? I can't support that, right? So, I don't know. I just don't think, to me, I see enough coming out of the multitude of Xbox studios. I mean, even Indiana Jones, even though it's like a beloved IP, right? That could have really gone badly. But Machine Games did an awesome job, but it was still a risk, right? And it probably cost a lot to get that IP. I don't know, a Blade. I think they're good. Like, I think Xbox is strategic, but I also think you're right in the fact that moving forward, we'll see a good influx of a lot of remasters or second editions to games that have been popular. But I think that they're cautiously willing to have off like random exceptions to try new things, because if you don't, how many times are you going to beat a horse to death before people don't care anymore, right?
Depends until until they don't care anymore. You just keep beating it.
Beat it.
Beat it. Just like BioShock is, just like 2K's doing to BioShock. Could have been better.
Yeah.
Could have worked on that one. So, beat it. Speaking of beating things, 2K is beating BioShock into the ground. It might not actually be 2K. It might be the studio that's currently working on the new BioShock game. But is this the segue you had in mind, or were you thinking of something else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
10 years. 10 years.
10 years.
Batter up.
Batter up. So BioShock, and you are the qualified person to speak on all things BioShock. Yeah, get your thing.
Yeah.
Get your thing.
Let me get my thing.
Get your thing. BioShock, it's a beloved franchise. Everyone loves it. It was under Ken Levine, and that's when it was a golden age. And I really appreciated and respected everything that Ken Levine did with the franchise, especially with BioShock Infinite, where he brought it to the whole new region. This new one was
That's my least
supposedly...
favorite.
I can understand that. I get it. But it's your least favorite in a trilogy of really good games, right? So... It's like, I love the Arkham franchise. Oh, that's really cool.
It lights up, too, with
No
blue.
gods or kings, only
Yes.
men
Yes.
in rapture.
Yes.
Would you kindly keep that on display because it looks sick?
I have a Starfield one, too.
RSJ would like that one.
Well, I didn't know what I didn't know then.
No, nobody did. That's really cool, though. I love that. I love that so much. I think you have enough Doom stuff. I think you can... RSJ wants to see your Starfield one.
Okay, hold on. Let me... Where's my little remote? I was gonna turn it on.
Oh, I want to see it lit up. Let's get lit! Let's get it lit! Anyway, while you try to find that, so...
Yeah.
BioShock, it was supposed to take place in, I believe it was Antarctica, and there was possibly going to be Rapture involved somehow. It was very loose concepts, but at the time when we heard about it, there was seemingly a lot of faith in the direction that it was going in. Now, recently, what we just heard was that they are more or less rebooting BioShock. They did not like the direction that it was going. The studio said that it wasn't working. What is it?
They said that the story was shite. That's what they said.
The story was terrible. So, trying to find an initial... A proper story. So this is coming from Kotaku. That's really cool. Oh, that's so cool.
But why would you want to?
Why would you want anything else?
Yeah, it's a shadow box. It's like, this is these are sold on, well, Etsy. There's this guy in the community. Before I even knew he's in the community, I ordered these, and I see him on Twitter all the time. His name is Nerd Propellant.
Great name.
And he's actually on he's on Twitter a lot, and I see, and he's in Illinois as well. Anyway, sorry. Just showing off my stuff.
You definitely have enough Doom. I think you can start.
Can you see this one? This one might not be plugged in.
Oh, it's the cover art. Yeah. It's the cover art for the game.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
That's a cool one too.
Yeah, it's got the graded color.
That is a cool one. Yeah, that is pretty neat actually. Sarah Morgan there. Vasco.
who's a jerk and I don't like at all, which is funny because RSJ fan, that's like her favorite.
It's King Fan Man's favorite too.
Like she's too angry all the time.
She is. She
needs a drink, okay?
She's just very opinionated.
She's cranky. She needs a boyfriend and a scotch. That's what I have to say.
You could be that for her.
A boyfriend?
It depends on the gender of your character. Yeah, listen, you can do anything you want. It's beauty of video games. Do whatever you want.
Yes, all the time, like Red says.
Like Red says.
Yeah. Sorry. While I do this.
No, go for it. So the official story is that Ken Levine's working on Judas. Judas is taking ages and ages and ages.
Yes.
From what Zelnick said specifically was, I think some of our competitors have realized maybe a little late in the day that consumers are not okay. Good is the new bad. Great is the new great. And our goal here is to make everything exceptional. That to me was a bunch of gobbledygook. But that's definitely Zelnick's speech. That is CEO of 2K. I think some of our competitors have realized maybe a little late in the day that consumers are not okay with okay. Good is the new bad. Great is the new great. And our goal here is to make everything exceptional.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense, but it's just, I don't know. I think he thought he was a lot more profound than he actually is. Anyway, he says, we're working hard to set BioShock up for the best possible future. Right now, we have a good game, but we're committed to delivering a great one. We are working closely.
They know this IP has been dormant for like 13 years, and like, you can't F it up, right? Because it's one of their biggest. Although they canceled... Sorry, as part of the story, they canceled the remaster for PC of BioShock 1, which is like easy cash grab. Why wouldn't you do that?
Because great is the new great. Because the old great isn't the new great. The new great is the new great. The old great is becoming the new great, but it can't be the old great.
So it's the great.
No, listen. The old great is not the new great, but the new great can't be the old great. It's only the new great, assuming that the old great is, in fact, not the new great.
Okay.
Great?
Yeah.
Get it?
I can buy
Great
that.
It? Great.
Great.
Great. Wow. So anyway, you're I love BioShock, but you're the BioShock queen. How are you feeling about BioShock? Do you have any excitement for a new BioShock game anymore?
I mean, I feel like it's a tough question, because I feel like it's kind of like Mass Effect fans, right? Who are kind of like, yeah, okay, you're making this game, sure, all right, cool. Everybody that was on the team left. It's gonna be great, right? Like, I don't want them to do it at all if it's going to be bad. But I definitely want them to do it if it's going to be good. Great. And what is astounding to me...
Great is the new great.
Yes, if it's going to be great.
Good is the new bad.
Good is the new bad. It's like 40 is the new 30. Yes. So, don't touch it if you're gonna screw it up. But if you do touch it, it better be effing great. New great. And the problem I see is that corporations like EA, they want their money. And this thing has been in development for a very long time. So I bet their bar is pretty low for how good this thing could have been in review, right? So if you're welcome, Ace Ventura's monkey. Like, so if EA corporate has sat down and reviewed this thing and been like, this story is terrible, to me that just means, holy bajoli, this story is worse than The Last of Us 2 and should never see the light of day. Like, just cancel it, right? Mm-hmm. So that scares me. It's smart that they said, no, you got to go back and fix it. But if I just don't know what that looks like, it makes me nervous. So I don't have a lot of faith in BioShock 4. And I'm beginning to lose faith in Judas, because Ken, what's going on, my dude? 2026 now? Like, where is this game? Why? I mean,
you know, with Ken though, that's with Ken, that's his
though.
Perfectionism setting in. He's like, we can get out in 2025, but it's not perfect yet. We need to do it. Thank you, Chris, for $20 super chat. What is going on? Finally, I get to sit in with you all, and we're happy to have you here. I hope that you have been doing well. I hope that you and your family have been enjoying the summer so far. And thank you, Chris, for your ongoing support. We're talking BioShock. I don't know, Chris, if you are a BioShock fan or not. But chat, be sure to let us know. Ace Ventura's monkey, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I just got here in time to hear Blue talking about touching it.
Yeah.
What were you touching?
I don't know. I don't think I could talk about it anymore.
Gotcha. That's fine. Talk about offline. Roshan, welcome. Oh, the blue number. Yes, that's why everyone is here. Wait, I gotta go this way. Everyone's here for you. I'm the background. You're the foreground. We know that we're here for you. Great. It's great. It's you're
listen, the guy with almost 5,000 subs.
You're the new great. I'm the old great, and the new great isn't the old great, because the old great has to be not the new great. Anyway, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. I hope you've been doing well, and happy to have you here. As always, really, really means a lot. And thank you to everybody who's signed up as a channel member as well. And thank you to everybody who checked out the latest video that I posted on the channel. I was very excited to get that one out, because it was fun for me to talk about, and I wanted to make a video for a while. I thought it came out pretty well. Holly, you had a video that came out too, which we'll talk about it. What I want to just give, before we get into that, just really quickly, I don't have... Pizza? I'm torn. I'm thinking about the BioShock thing, like, with 2K stepping in and being like, we're kind of taking control of this process. And there's I'm sort of split on this issue, because on the one hand, we see something like what's been going on with Microsoft, where there's a side of the community that's like, well, Microsoft should have been more involved for these projects, that, like, whether it is Contraband or Everwild or any of these other games that have been canceled. Microsoft, Perfect Dark, Microsoft should have been more involved to make sure that these projects were going according to plan. There's other people who are like, well, no, and I fall in this umbrella where I'm like, no, it shouldn't be like, Big Phil shouldn't be watching over every single studio going, you doing your job? You doing your job over there? Like, you hire people to do that. And if the people, like, they should be responsible for keeping their projects in check. So, you know, it can come down for the studio level, but thank you, Fark. But there are some people who think that sometimes the leadership should be more involved, and this is an instance where 2K is stepping in, saying we're going to make sure that this game comes out as good as possible, and we want it to. Now, what 2K thinks is a good game and what we think is a good game is probably two separate concepts of what a good game is. I think that kind of goes without saying, personally. Mm-hmm. However, I'm curious to see if we're in an interesting transitory phase in gaming, just broadly speaking, where and we've talked about this plenty of times in the past, where we're seeing games like Expedition 33, like these smaller projects, these newer projects, these more creative, a little bit more ambitious, in my opinion, titles that are seeing a lot of success. And I am optimistically hoping that 2K is looking at these successes going, okay, this is what fans want, and we're going to try to inject that into BioShock, because that wasn't the direction it was heading.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case. I think that's probably an optimistic take. But I look at what's going on with Borderlands 4, and it really seems like the ideal Borderlands game that people have been waiting for. That's 2K, of course. I see now BioShock and 2K stepping in to say, hey, let's make a great game with BioShock. The fans deserve it. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm not optimistic. I'm not hopeful. But I am...
But you are.
I lean to the side of I want to hope for the best.
I think, I mean, it's in their best interest to make a good one, right? Because it is, BioShock is probably, I mean, not to be all that, right? But I would say it is probably one of the top 5 most popular games broadly throughout gaming, right? Yeah. It's extremely popular. It's extremely beloved. Mm-hmm. So I have a hard time thinking that Take-Two waiting this long for another game, as much as they are greedy and want the money, I think they are also of the knowledge and opinion that if they can crank out a good one, it's gonna sell gangbusters, right? But if it comes out and the reviews are bad, what happens then? So it's the dichotomy of they don't necessarily care how good or bad it is as long as it makes money.
Right. But
they also know that it's a reputational game like Mass Effect. So yes, you have to get it right, because now you could get 3 more out of this, right? Kind of like they did 1, 2, 3. Now they could do 4, 5, 6, right? In either of these, and really take it to the next level and cash in for another 10 to 15 years if they can get it right. That's
very
my
fair.
thought.
Very fair. Couple chats that have came in. Fark says he's still topping. Make him stop. Don't worry, you're gonna get your wish. Game of the year says Influent. People's imagination got canceled. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, for some reason, Ace Ventura is like all about the fact that Contraband was an imaginary game. They keep saying it was.
Oh,
it was
okay.
A made-up game. It was never really a thing. People are mad about Air being canceled.
Air was canceled. It wasn't great. It was the old great, I should say. Air. We need the new great Air.
Previously known as great.
Previously known as great Air. Anyway, that is our show for today. Holly, you released a fantastic video that I did watch and did not leave a comment on, but it really got me excited for a game that you were super into.
Yeah, I was. My first game review. So I was just trying to kind of feel my way through it. There is a small indie game that came out July 22nd, I think it was. It was called Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream. It's on every platform, so wherever you play, you could get it. It's $40 full price. You could definitely get it cheaper if you do your online magic. It is so good. It's an isometric top-down. I really loved it. I just really enjoyed it, and so I thought, this would be a good test run for how to start making reviews of video games. And because I really liked it, I thought it was an easy one to talk about. And River End Games liked my tweet today about...
Hey! That's super fun. That's very fun.
It is. That was cool.
And I liked... My favorite part about the review was it felt like you got more comfortable, like, behind the camera almost as the video went on. If that makes sense. So it seems like in the beginning you were like a little bit like more stiff, and then as the review went on you started like loosening up and you were having more fun with it, and I was like, this is so wholesome to see, like that like that it's a microcosm for like becoming a content creator, but it was in one video, and I love that.
I had made a video in a month, and I'm still very new at this. This is like the fourth actual video that I've made, right? So I still suck. And I know that I suck. It's fine, right? Because you have to practice to get better. But it had been a month, and I was like, what do I do with my hands? Like, you know what
there you go.
Like,
Today we're reviewing Eric's Home. It's a game.
Play it with ease.
The stolen. I actually did that. Like, I did one of my videos after I had not made a video for like a year. I was like, so how's it howdy everybody. Hello
Yeah. My goal is to get to a point, like right now I script stuff, and like I do a lot of presentations for work, and because I'm very comfortable with the content, I never script anything. I just put down like a handful of bullet points just to make sure that I hit like by like in like 3 words, right? Like, oh, this. So I talk all the time for work, no problem. But like when I talk about this stuff, I'm like, in front of a camera, you're recording yourself and you're talking to nobody. It's kind of weird, right? So I'm hoping to get to a point where like I can just sort of riff and not sound like I'm reading on a script and all that stuff. So it's a work in progress, but I'll get there.
I know you can do it because you can do it for these podcasts. So you can, it'll transfer. But Chris, don't cry.
Also,
I'm gonna cry.
DeMarco made a video
because it's ending,
which is very good, except for his bad takes about Fallout 4. Which I also watched and didn't get a chance to leave a comment on. So we're like even Steven.
We're even Stevens there. Check out a video I did on sort of the state of Bethesda and where I see the company heading in the near future, especially with Starfield. And I think this will probably be its last DLC, but you could check why and check all that out in the video, which is right on the channel. I mean, you could get to it. You know how YouTube works. Holly's channel, linked down in the description below, so be sure to go check out hers as well and subscribe because she does live streams over there. We actually did one after the show last week. We did a live stream, so, and I would like to do more of that. I think that was a good pair up actually, as we go boom boom and hopefully see some of you folks there. It's a really fun way to kind of connect, keep the two channels together. So thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Holly, for convincing me to do the stream tonight. You could thank her because otherwise it wasn't going to happen. Thank you to channel members who are here and Chris as well. Always a pleasure. Appreciate the support. I have more content coming your way, and I am currently speaking about potentially getting someone to help out with editing some videos. So that allows me to focus more on the creation and ideally get something out more frequently. So you guys are helping make that happen with all of your support. Just want you to know that it's going to good use. So thank you guys. Welcome, Bim Lao. Goodbye, Bim Lao. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.